In 2021, I was working a really tedious sales job at a department store. This was at the height of COVID, so a sales job, you can imagine, not very interesting. Like, everyone's in lockdown, there's no customers to serve, so I'm walking around this empty department store all day. One day, I was organizing a rack of clothes at this department store for the 10,000th time when it just hits me. And I realize that I've spent more time at this department store than I ever have working on my own thing, creating anything of my own. And I realize I need to make a change. Right? If I want to live authentically, then I need to do something about this. I need to make a shift. So what I did was I started to bring my old camera to work. My old camera. And after my shifts, I'd go out into the city and I'd just take photos for like an hour. I'd just go out and take photos of whatever captured my attention, whatever I found interesting. Now these photos, they didn't make me rich, okay? They didn't give me a bunch of followers, a bunch of likes, but they showed me that I'm not meant to just be a consumer in this world. I'm meant to create something of my own. Adding this creative element into my life was very energizing. And what it did was it brought back this feeling that I had as a kid. You know that feeling of just getting lost for hours creating things, whether it's just building Legos or writing some short story of your own or making a comic book. Now chances are, if you're watching this, you also have a desire to create. But perhaps you've been spending way more time consuming. Maybe you've got a bunch of excuses. Oh, I don't have a good enough idea, now's not the right time, I need to learn more, I need to maybe take a course on this topic before I can start creating, right? It's time to change that. It's time to start viewing yourself as someone who adds to the world, who contributes rather than just takes from. So now, I want to share with you a very practical process for putting this into practice. The first step is you need to decide on what you want to create. And if you struggle with that, if you don't know what you should create, take a look at what you're consuming already. Take a look at the accounts that you follow on social media, the YouTube channels you watch, the books you read, the topics you're interested in. That's going to give you a clue as to what you should probably be creating. For example, if you follow a lot of graphic designers on Instagram, then chances are that you're probably interested in graphic design, right? You might want to become a digital artist of some kind, and that might just be a good place to start. The next step is to give yourself a creative challenge. When I started to take photos after my work shifts, I gave myself a 30-day challenge. And the challenge was, I need to post one photo every single day to Instagram. That really pressured me to go out and take those photos and really do the best I could out there. And that leads me to the third point, which is actually begin to get into the habit of sharing your work. Build a website, make a social media account, make an Instagram account, and just post your work. Even if nobody follows, even if nobody shares, just the habit of putting your work out there and building this portfolio of just like work that you create, your own creations, that's gonna help you improve a lot faster, and that's gonna help you also start to identify as a creator. So get into the habit of just posting your work. Going through this process and becoming a creator will add a whole new level of meaning and fulfillment in your life. You'll start to see life as more exciting, more magical. You'll start to feel more powerful. You'll start to feel more in control of your life. So I encourage you to actually get started right now. Make this the last video you watch today. Put a habit into place of creating every single day. Even if it's just for 10 minutes, make it a habit. Start small, okay? But start now. Don't procrastinate this any longer.